So lots of people own a business that's kind of okay. Less people own a business which is good. And hardly any people own a business which is amazing. In fact, the following quote rings true when I think about culture and how it helps the profitability inside a business. So this is a quote by Richard Branson. Create the type of workplace and company culture that will attract great talent. If you hire brilliant people, they will make work feel more like play. How true is that? So what do we mean by workplace culture? Well, an example of this would be if we allow a bad day at the top, i.e. you're the practice manager, maybe you're the principal dentist, and you're having a bad day. If we affect the people below us, then clearly that's the top down. You know what I mean here. Your day starts really badly, maybe with a simmering row with your spouse or partner. There's maybe nowhere to park when you get to the practice, so you've got to park down the street. It's tippling down with rain, you've forgotten your brolly, and so by the time you've walked the 400 metres into the practice, you are soaked through to the skin. Your day starts very badly, yet you then roll that down throughout the team. And of course you vent, don't you? That's what you do because we're all human. Gives everybody else then an excuse to also vent and also to agree how bad the day is. So we all kind of moan along together, which is not good.
Sadly, it seems to be something very British in us all. We seem to excel in moaning about how bad things are, and in doing so we lower the mood in practice, and of course we lower the whole energy in practice as well, making it like the typical dentistry practice that for years I've visited as a patient, well, until I decided recently to try a different practice down the road, which I'd heard was great. Interestingly, I'd heard it was great from someone who actually worked there as a hygienist. She said,
Andy, I'd never want to work anywhere else. They look after the staff well, and although it's not the best paid job, I'm working with happy, positive people who all want to help to change the lives of the patients. And that is why I got involved in dentistry.
So for her, she was fulfilling her destiny, actually in the bucket loads full. She was surrounded by people she cared about and felt respected by, and of course she felt valued. Coming home every day feeling happy that she was making a difference to people's lives. In essence, she was working within her own personal purpose, feeling good about her own impact on the world, never feeling like she was just a number and that it was just a job. Let's look at one of the integral building blocks around creating the culture that the world's elite business people are so proud of. Why is trust such an important factor in improving the culture inside your practice? Well, businesses with high levels of trust are much more productive. They have much better employee morale and engagement, lower employee turnover even, and they also perform better financially. But what are the foundations of trust, and what steps can you take as a practice owner or as a manager or principal dentist to build and avoid breaking down the trust? The importance of trust within a business is universally acknowledged by most successful leaders, but trust itself can be a hard thing to quantify. Trust is vital to success, while on the other hand, distrust can have the negative effect and a disastrous effect, leading to lower levels of employee morale, commitment, and of course productivity.
There are certain characteristics inside organisations that have a strong culture towards trust. Number one is credibility. Managers and team members mean what they say and believe in what they are saying. They have the confidence that the actions of others will be consistent with their words. The management is seen to be honest and ethical in its business practices and approach. Number two is respect. Managers actively support their employees' professional growth and also consider the ideas of their employees, giving them value and helping the employee to feel valued. Everyone's views and opinions are welcomed and considered. Number three is fair treatment. All team members believe they are treated fairly regardless of their position within the practice, right the way up to the principal and right the way through to the cleaning team. Number four is interaction. Something as simple as a 5-minute chat in the break room between, say, a manager and a team member will help to convey a willingness on the part of both people to do something that is outside of the ordinary to benefit the other. If trust increases profitability and helps in attracting and keeping talented staff, then it follows that a lack of trust lowers productivity and increases the staff turnover. Yet trust is still a rare commodity in many practices today. So what steps can you take to improve trust inside your practice?
T. T is for teach. Teach everyone in your practice how things work. Make it as transparent as possible. Remember, we can never assume that people understand everything the way that it is, so make sure that you backtrack on things, make sure that you test people's understanding by checking with them and asking them if they understand it. R. R is for reward. Try and implement reward systems and make sure they align with your practice purpose and values. Make sure that you fit around the goals that you have in place for the business. By incentivizing people in some way, it will ensure that they are invigorated and that they connect to your purpose. Ensure that it's not always monetary value. Sometimes just giving somebody an early finish from the practice may well be very, very valuable to them. U. U is for unconditional support. Create an environment where mistakes are seen as opportunities to learn, not to punish. Encourage ideas and give everyone, all the team members, permission to think outside the box. This will ensure a growth mindset inside the business. S. S is for share information. Communicate and share information frequently and clearly. Keep everyone up to date with all the happenings inside the practice and make sure that you are keeping everybody in the loop and that they're not in the darkness. T. Again, T is for trustworthy. Ensure that you are trustworthy. When you make commitments to staff members, make sure that you keep them. Be good on your promises and never let people down. Here are 4 practical steps that you can take to establish the levels of trust within your practice. Number 1, assess the level of trust through employee surveys or confidential one-to-one discussions. Number 2, once assessed, the results of the surveys or discussions should be openly communicated to all team members. It's so important to communicate as openly and as transparently as possible with employees at all levels. It helps them to understand where they're at. Number 3, assess your own trustworthiness as a leader and encourage other leaders within the practice to do the same. Do you always do what it says on the tin, basically? Number 4, follow up and remain vigilant. These proactive steps can go a long way to improve the trust in your practice and improve staff satisfaction across the board as well as retention. Remember, when looking to create trust and great business culture, it's a journey that never ends. You will always need to assess it, sample it, and tweak it to ensure the very best outcome for your team and your patients.